What's going on? In today's video, we'll be updating my book journal for the month of March. I do know I am a little bit late, but that's because I was a silly goose and did something that made me need major maintenance on the van I'm converting in the state that I am not based out of right now. So I was stuck in a state. Thankfully, I had friends in Florida, but I had none of my stuff and I couldn't drive, so here we are. If that situation interests you at all, I do plan on uploading a video about it in the next week or so, explaining what I did wrong and how I was able to navigate the situation. Again, I was dumb in this situation, but I learned a lot, and I'm not, well, I am mad about it, I can't say that, but anyways, it will be uploaded, so if you're curious, make sure you subscribe. In this video, I decided to include me updating my trackers, like my series trackers, my reading log, my 2 book recorders, trackers, I guess. I don't know why I had 2. I had a reason, I forgot about it. I'm sure I'll make up a reason. Don't know if it's the original one, but that's included. If I were to make up a reason on the spot, since we're on my reading goals page, this one would be to track the genre of books. The other one I think would just be to see how many books I've read per month. That kind of sounds right to me. We're just gonna go with it. I do still really love this page, mainly because of the little window I did. I freehanded that and I miss Colorado every day. Kind of reminds me of it. Just a little nice window, you know? Nature. Here I'm just updating my anime tracker. I do think I was a little ambitious with the amount of space I made to track books. So 2 of these are probably going to go towards anime, and I am going to include little anime wrap-ups, well, not wrap-ups, just pages at the end. So I'll go through all my books and then I'll go through whatever anime series I finished during the month. This month definitely caught me lacking on my ebooks. I want to use my Kindle more, but I'm trying to get through some physical books since I will be moving into the van soon, and I definitely was in a reading slump. I had no 5-star books. Actually, probably my lowest rating month so far. In general, I don't think I've had a month this bad yet, which is really disappointing. And while you might hear me laughing right now, my soul was definitely crying when I was in the middle of those books because it was bad. I did finally finish Black Clover this month. This would be the longest anime I've watched so far at 170 episodes. The second longest being Attack on Titan, which I'm pretty sure is only like 94. Honestly, I think it was worth it, not bad. And after I went for a short 1-season anime, thinking it was just gonna hold me over till I decide what to watch next, and that one destroyed me. I think about it every day. I'm not sure if anyone else does journaling like this, but I'm very much so a mood journaler. So when I'm making pages, whether it be for a recap or stats, a book, or an anime, I do how I'm feeling, and then I try to use things that remind me of what I'm journaling about. And I think it just makes it a little more of a creative process for me. A lot of my hobbies are already creative, but it's more intentional, if that makes sense. I have to plan a lot when I'm flying drones. I have to be intentional about what shots I get with my drones and my camera if I'm shooting for specific video content. This has been a nice way to just focus on being creative. I don't really have a goal, and I just let my mind do what it wants. Me personally, I love mindless tasks, and this kind of feels like one, but it lets me have a creative outlet. And I don't really count this as work because I just literally attach my camera to my small rig clip and I press record. So I don't really have anything to talk about for the next minute or so, and I'm not just going to pick something random just for the sake of talking. you hopefully can enjoy the next minute without me in it. Well, my voice. Alright, I'm back. So I will say printing all the covers at once did save me what I thought to be a decent amount of time. Normally I would do the little mini ones and then I would follow up at some point later with the larger covers. I think from now on in the future I'll do it like this as one single batch, and then if I need to go back and grab the printer I will, but I liked doing it better this way. I'm also still not great at sizing the mini covers. I'm pretty sure one thing or another is cut off at least all of the little ones, so please don't judge me. I'm working on it. I also decided that animes are going to be in the 5-Star Hall of Fame. It's my book journal. I do what I want. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not apologizing for it. I feel like this is so deserved. One thing I will say I think book journaling has already started to help me with is making it okay to not be perfect in like a setup sense, because it used to really bother me if things weren't straight or perfectly aligned or anything, and now I'm trying to do a more collage type thing, so it's like intentionally messy just so I get used to it. Couldn't tell, I kind of sometimes can have control problems, which I'm not going to get into, but shout out anxiety. I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but I do think it's been helping, and I actually have started to journal regularly like this, to include like scrap journal stuff and just base it off my mood. So this is kind of like what was an outlet is helping me also process things, which is kind of cool. I don't know if that's oversharing or a TED Talk, but thanks for being here regardless. For example, as I'm writing March, you can definitely tell that the letters are not the same font. I'm freehanding it, so not everything is in a straight line. The spacing is a little off, but instead of getting upset about it, I feel like I'm embracing my inner Bob Ross and just calling them happy little accidents and moving on and appreciating it in the full picture at the end. I did absolutely atrocious at writing this month. I was actually kind of disappointed when I thought about it looking back, and already this month, even though I did not have my iPad while I was stranded in Florida, I say stranded, I was at my friend's house, but I had nothing, and it was just so awkward. But I already did so much better than I had in March. I started tracking this because I've made it a goal to write a book. I already have my characters built out and the plot line, and I'm just kind of figuring out how to write a story now, and to get it done I just really have to do it, and I feel like tracking it and just seeing how I'm doing is going to get me to do it more, if that makes sense. That's my idea behind it. Hopefully it works because I want to see this idea through, so we'll see how it goes. The Shepherd King duology was actually so cool. The magic system, at least for me, I haven't read anything like it. It was very unique. I'm not going to get into the books per se, like full review wise. I do plan on posting a recap probably again next week. I did record one before I went, and I didn't really feel like doing it, and looking back at the footage, you could definitely tell I didn't feel like doing it, so I'm not going to be editing and publishing that. So if you're interested on my personal take on the duology and reasons why, subscribe and you'll see that video up here soon. This spread's probably one of my favorite ones that I've done in the journal so far. I randomly remembered that I paid $15 for Crayola Super Tips and I was gonna act like it and actually use it, so we got a little spicy. I had no plan. I was like, you know what, this might look cool, and we just did it, and I really like how it turned out. I don't try to put spoilers in the little recaps that I do about the books, but read at your own risk, because I don't really remember exactly what I wrote. Unfortunately, when it came to these two spreads, I figured out that if I didn't really enjoy the book, I didn't really put that much effort into the spread. I try to do things that remind me of the storylines, but Asylum was just a random book that I picked up at a used bookstore and thought it might be cool. It was okay. Fairy just actually really pissed me off because I was looking forward to this book so much and it did not meet my expectations, and I think I actually hated it. I actually believed it enough to write it on this page. So Elantris was my first Brandon Sanderson book that I've ever read, and I loved it. It was a little hard for me to get through at first because I was trying to read it at the same time I was studying for my organic chemistry finals. Oh gosh, okay, Terror in Resonance. Easy, probably top 3 in anime for me. I only just started watching last year, but I watched this at the beginning of last month, and it is now April 15th, and I've thought about it every single day. Anime might not be your thing, but I will say if you're a reader, you might appreciate the different kind of storylines that a lot of these shows have. If you like psychological thrillers or just thrillers in general and you want to dabble in something, I would suggest Terror in Resonance. The basic plot about this one is there are two boys who disguise themselves and start posting videos online. Basically, they're playing games with the police for a greater purpose, but it is identified as terrorist attacks, and then this just spirals into this whole big thing, and it is so good, and I just love this so much. It ruined me. I love this one so much. I finished the rest of what I had for Black Clover, and I honestly really enjoyed it. I think it has some of the best side character development that I've seen from all the animes that I've watched so far. If you are going to try this, please try to get past like episode 6 or 7, I think is when it eases up. Asta does yell a lot, and it is kind of annoying, but I think they did a good job about listening to the fans and toned it back a lot, and it has a really good storyline, so if you could get past it, you're gonna get drawn in, and it was just good in general. Honestly, it's like a found family type thing. One of my favorite things about this is the degenerate squad ends up being so OP, and nobody realizes it until it really matters, and they see how strong all these people are, like stronger than all the other mages, and it's just so cool to see. And I can't wait for the next season. Initially, I thought this was going to be a lot harder to voice over, but I forget that I'm kind of a secret yapper. This is really all I got for this week. If you've read any of the books that I did last month, or if you've watched these animes, please let me know what you thought in the comments. If you have not, let me know what you're reading now and what you think about it, because I need more books to read. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you next week. See you later.